Chaos is not unlikely, not convenient, but inevitable. Not because the world will be gentle, not because fortune will shield you, but because you have chosen that disturbance in your mind is no longer allowed. Most people secretly grant turmoil a guest room, an excuse for agitation, a story to explain their unrest when life refuses to cooperate. That hidden allowance becomes the very reason peace never finds them. Life bends to composure, not to longing. Ask yourself with uncompromising honesty, if losing your calm were truly impossible this year, how would you carry yourself today? How would you speak? What irritations would you dismiss without hesitation? Which storms would no longer reach your inner life? Those who move through tempests unbothered do not begin with tranquil surroundings. They begin with refusal, a refusal to let the outside dictate the inside, a refusal to make agitation a habit, a refusal to explain why serenity cannot be theirs today. You have heard the stories, but not with true attention. Not the quiet, uncelebrated evenings when restlessness crept in, nor the long days when composure was all that stood between order and collapse. Those who became unshakable did not start with iron nerves. They became steady because they kept choosing calm, even when worry pressed in. They did not know if peace would last, but they acted as if it must. There is a difference. Hoping for calm makes you careful. Demanding it makes you inventive. When the world pounds on your door, the person who must remain calm finds new ground or builds higher walls within. This year cannot belong to uproar if it is to belong to you. You must cast out the language of agitation from your mind. Words like overwhelmed, frazzled, triggered, and it's too much sap your strength before action even begins. Study your habits. They will show you if you are preparing for composure or rehearsing for panic. Do you walk as one who expects peace or as one who waits for chaos and plans for escape? The people who found calm did not wait for perfect conditions. Certainty comes later. They moved with faith borrowed from their decision alone. Once the choice is made, the mind gathers its forces to support it. You will hear stories here that span years of confusion, loss, and noise. You will feel the heaviness those people endured in silence. You will recognize your own struggles in their restless nights and in their quiet perseverance. But know this before a single story is spoken. None of these individuals stood calm because life was gentle. They stood calm because for them, losing their peace would have cost more than holding it. That is the place you are being called to reach. If calm in chaos is non-negotiable, then drama becomes poisonous. Arguments lose their charm. Idle complaints become foreign. You stop asking, when will this end, and start asking, how can I hold steady now? This is not indifference. It is discipline. When agitation is no longer welcome, effort sharpens. Every moment becomes sacred. Energy ceases to spill into quarrels and explanations. The mind steadies itself because it must. You are not late. You are early in the season when decision becomes destiny. The people whose stories fill this speech were not born unbothered. They were tired, overlooked, shaken by the world and by their own fears. But they made a vow in secret. I will not let the world command my peace. Act as if unshakable calm must be yours, not because you have earned it, but because you will not allow yourself to spend another year under the yoke of agitation. Listen closely as this unfolds. You will not be tempted by fantasy. You will be anchored in reality, the reality of people who, standing where you stand, refuse to be moved by chaos. By the end, the idea of losing your peace will seem strange, not because stillness is easy, but because unrest will no longer make sense. This is not mere hope. This is alignment. And when a mind, a heart, and a will all unite around the decision to remain unmoved, life adjusts. Calm arrives, not by magic, not by chance, but by law. Chaos is not your enemy. It is your teacher. Every day you are handed 1,000 small tests, a rude remark from a stranger, the moment you are left waiting while others move ahead, plans that unravel without warning, slipping through your fingers despite all your efforts. It is easy to imagine that life would be simple, even beautiful, if only everything would remain orderly and smooth. Most people spend their days hoping for this, waiting for the world to hand them a calm day, a gentle companion, a promise that nothing unexpected will come. But the truth is, the world will never hand you perfect conditions. It is not in the nature of life to arrange itself around your comfort. The very idea that calm must come from outside is a trap. If your peace is dependent on everything being just right, you will never know peace for more than a fleeting moment. The world is not a gentle sea. It is a place of storms, sharp rocks, and unpredictable tides. Chaos is not a curse sent against you. It is not the sign that you are unlucky, nor is it proof that you are failing. It is the harsh master that forges your strength. Just as the iron blade must endure the fire before it becomes sharp, your character is shaped in the heat of adversity. The next time the world pulls you out of comfort, do not curse the trial. When the day is interrupted, when the words of others sting, when nothing goes according to plan, pause. See it as the weight that builds your muscle. Life hands you resistance, not to punish, but to strengthen. Each storm is a lesson sent for your growth. Every insult, a chance to practice your patience and dignity. Every loss, an opportunity to discover what you really own inside. In these moments, ask yourself, what is this teaching me? Where am I being called to become stronger, wiser, or more patient? There is a hidden gift within chaos. Each time you are knocked from your path, you are offered a chance to respond differently than before. Most will react as they always have, complaining, retreating, growing bitter or fearful. But you, if you choose, can see the trial for what it is, a lesson in disguise. Do not wish for an easy road. Wish for the wisdom to walk the hard one well. You do not become unbothered by hiding from life, by shutting the door and waiting for the noise to pass. You become unbothered by meeting chaos head on and letting it teach you the lessons you could never learn in comfort. Real resilience is not the absence of difficulty, but the refusal to be made small by it. It is standing your ground when the wind howls and the world seems set against you, and knowing that the real test is not whether the storm comes, but how you stand while it rages. Chaos is a relentless teacher, and it is always near. If you try to avoid it, you will only grow softer and more fragile. If you meet it, if you allow yourself to feel the discomfort, to learn the lesson, to rise each time a little stronger than before, then you will discover an inner strength that nothing can take from you. Over time, the world's storms will lose their power to shake you. The words of others will pass through you like wind through an open window. The loss of a plan will become a small invitation to adapt, to grow, to build something better. So welcome the lessons that chaos brings. With each new trial, remember, this is not your enemy, but your teacher. Every day you are handed another chance to become unbothered, not by the absence of difficulty, but by your courage to stand tall within it. You are the gatekeeper of your mind. Imagine your mind as a walled city. Its towers rise above the landscape, its stonework solid against the winds of the world. Beyond those gates, there is always noise, shouts of opinion, whispers of doubt, sudden flares of anger, temptation dressed in 1,000 disguises. The crowds outside are never still, but inside this city, within these walls, you are sovereign. You alone hold the keys. You decide what enters and what remains outside. Every day, the world lines up at your gates. Troubles and challenges arrive uninvited, a careless word from a friend, a cruel comment, a setback that unravels your careful plans. At times, fear itself will march up to the threshold, demanding to be let in. There will be days when regret, worry, and envy all try to crowd through at once. Yet, in each of these moments, you hold power far greater than you might realize. You are the gatekeeper. No feeling, no thought, no judgment can enter without your permission. When trouble comes, someone criticizes you, a plan falls apart, fear knocks at your door, you have a choice. You can fling open the gates and let the disturbance march straight into your heart. Or you can meet it at the threshold. You can pause, stand tall, and ask, who are you? Do you serve my peace or threaten it? Are you worthy of a place in my city? In that instant, you gain the power to choose. You may let the lesson in, learn what is needed, and send the rest away. You do not need to let every storm take root inside your walls. Most people do not realize the strength they possess. They believe every feeling must be obeyed, every thought must be trusted. But this is not so. Thoughts are travelers, passing through. Some are wise, some are foolish. Emotions surge like crowds, loud and urgent, yet they do not have to rule you. You are not your thoughts, you are not your anger, your worry, your pain. You are the one who stands at the gate, deciding which voices are allowed to enter and which are turned away. This is not a call to denial. Being the gatekeeper does not mean closing your eyes to reality or pretending that nothing ever troubles you. It means seeing the world clearly, recognizing each challenge for what it is, and refusing to allow outside events to dictate your inner world. Reality will bring pain, loss, change. Yet, you can decide, will these things control you, or will you respond as the master of your city? You protect your peace, not by shutting out every difficulty, but by examining what knocks and discerning its purpose. Is this fear warning me of real danger, or is it just an echo of old wounds? Is this anger pointing to injustice, or is it simply pride demanding its way? At every gate, you ask these questions. You welcome the guests that bring growth and wisdom. You send away those who only seek to sow unrest within your walls. Over time, this practice shapes the very character of your mind. The city becomes a place of quiet strength. The winds outside may rise, but they do not topple your towers. Criticism, chaos, the endless noise of the world, they can thunder at your gates, but they will not enter without your say. You become known, even to yourself, as the one who guards what truly matters. Others may waste their days reacting to every disturbance, but you move with calm purpose. You protect your inner city not with blindness, but with clarity and will. Remember, you are the gatekeeper of your mind. The power is always yours. Guard your city well, and your peace will endure, no matter what the world brings to your gates. Master the pause, the space between trigger and response. The difference between the unshakable and the easily broken is not something dramatic or mysterious. It is not a gift reserved for a select few. The true difference can be traced to a single, invisible moment, a moment so small it could slip by unnoticed if you are not awake to it. That moment is the pause. Most people rush through life on a hair trigger. Something upsets them, and before they even know what's happening, words have spilled out, sharp and unfiltered. Anger flashes up, red and blinding, driving actions and words that can never be taken back. A look, a sound, a memory, or a setback can set the whole chain in motion, trigger, reaction, and, inevitably, regret. The world is full of people who live like this, pulled back and forth by every little disturbance, worn down by their own unchecked responses. But you are not most people. You can pause. This pause is not just an empty second. It is a hidden doorway to freedom. In that brief space between trigger and response, you become more than just a bundle of instincts and reactions. You become the watcher within. You can notice anger as it bubbles up, hot and demanding. You can feel fear rise, whispering old stories and warnings. You can recognize the tightening in your chest, the clenching in your hands, the urge to lash out or to hide. But you do not have to act on any of it, not right away. That pause is where your power lives. To master the pause is to reclaim your freedom from the tyranny of your impulses. In that instant, you get to choose. Will I let this feeling drive me, or will I breathe, observe, and decide what comes next?